Prince didn't change his name because he was eccentric. He did it because he was owned. Not his music, not his image, him. Because in the music industry, power doesn't live in talent. It lives in contracts, ownership, masters. Prince was 19 when he signed with Warner Brothers, and like most young artists, he saw opportunity. But what he didn't see was the structure, because buried in that deal, Warner owned his masters. They controlled when he released music, how much he released, and even the name. Prince. At first, it worked. He delivered hits. Purple Rain, When Doves Cry, Kiss. They made him a global star. But underneath the success, the balance of power was already set. Ownership. By the early 90s, Prince wasn't just successful. He was one of the biggest artists in the world. So he did what powerful artists eventually do. He asked for control, a new deal, reported near $100 million on paper. It looked like freedom, but it wasn't. Because Warner didn't give up control. They tightened it. Fewer releases, more restrictions, same ownership of his masters. For an artist who created constantly, that wasn't a contract. That was a cage. And that's when Prince started asking questions. The industry depends on artists never asking, why don't I own what I create? Why can't I release my own music? Who actually controls my voice? That's when everything changed. In 1993, Prince made a move the industry couldn't control. He erased his own name, replaced it with a symbol, unpronounceable, uncontainable. The world laughed. The media mocked him. The artist formerly known as Prince. But they missed it. Because while Warner owned the name Prince, they couldn't own what they couldn't define. And here's what most people never understood. That symbol wasn't random. It was tied to his own company, Paisley Park, which meant, while the label controlled his name, Prince shifted his identity back under his own ownership, quietly, strategically. That wasn't eccentricity. That was power. And then, he made it impossible to ignore. He appeared in public with one word written across his face: slave. Not metaphor, not performance, message. Because Prince understood something the industry relies on you not understanding. If you don't own your masters, you don't own your music. And once he said that out loud, the narrative changed. He was called difficult, unpredictable, hard to work with. Sound familiar? That wasn't personality. That was containment. Because if one artist exposes the structure, others might follow. But Prince didn't stop. He flooded the system with music, released on his terms, outpaced the label, forced the contract to end. By 1996, he was free. But the real impact wasn't just legal. It was cultural. Because Prince took something hidden and made it visible. Years before streaming, before independence became strategy, before artists demanded ownership, Prince showed exactly where power lived. So when people reduce him to eccentric, or strange, or unpredictable, understand what's being erased. Prince wasn't dangerous because of how he dressed, or how he performed. He was dangerous because he understood the system, and exposed it in public. And once you see that, you can't unsee it.